However, our studies have established that of the 40 deaths from Strathan sarcoma in the past year, all metastasized in no less than a 12-year period.
Are there any exceptions to that?
None I'm aware of.
So what you're saying is that since Russ Martin only worked for Delphi Industries for 5 years, he's not covered by the company's insurance?
As the insurance carrier, we're not liable for pre-existing medical conditions.
There is a new study underway in England that should tell us a lot more in a year or so.
My client doesn't have a year or so. He's only got days. They've exhausted their savings on every possible medical treatment. His family is going to be out on the street.
I'm sorry we're not in a position to be more helpful.
Sorry to make you wait. It's time for Russ's medication.
Oh, it's okay.
Can I get you anything? Coffee?
No, thank you.
Are you sure?
Coffee would be great.
So you met with the insurance company. How'd it go?
The medical expert that we hired confirmed their contention that your husband's condition pre-existed his employment.
Sweetheart,
Yeah, honey.
is that Alex and Mr. Whitney I hear? Bring him out.
Please don't say anything about the insurance.
Russ?
There's my killer team of lawyers.
Hey, handsome.
So, did you squeeze those bums? Make them pay up?
Yeah, Russ, we've got him on the ropes. Everything is going to be fine.
I knew I could count on you.
There's 2 trains I can travel. 2 trains leaving today. One gonna take me home. One gonna carry me away. Gonna carry me away.
Your funeral's Friday. I appreciate you helping out with everything.
Barbara, we're not going to give up. But we need to start looking at this from a different angle.
What do you mean?
Well, I think we should do some tests that couldn't be performed on him before.
You mean an autopsy?
I know this is hard to think about, but it's important.
I can't. He has been cut open so many times. Isn't there some other way? I'm gonna have to sell my house. I have to take Sean out of school. Ever since Russ got sick, I can't even talk to him anymore.
Oh, the nerve of those lawyers. After everything you've been through, I know that's what I'd be thinking.
You don't have to do this. If you decide that you just want to move on with your life, that is certainly understandable. But if somebody is responsible for Russ's illness, this would be our only hope of finding out.
I guess I should do it for Sean.
How old is he?
Just turned 16. Russ promised him he could have his old truck when he passed his driver's test, but he got too sick to teach him how to drive it. It's a stick shift.
You know, Heller knows all about this car stuff. Maybe he could teach him.
Hey, you dance salsa?
Yeah, they offered it in prison, but I took pottery instead.
My cousin, he's a great dancer.
Trying to fix me up with him?
No, I swear on the head of my perro.
On the head of your dog? What kind of assurance is that?
I love my dog. Everyone should love something.
Well, between working at the law firm and this job, my dance card is full.
Come on. Come by the house at least. Estella will make you a tasty arroz con pollo.
Is your dancing cousin gonna be there?
See?
Then no.
So, must be Sean. Your mom said you needed some help with driving?
How much that cost you?
That cost me 3 years of law school and a whole lot of overtime. It's your dad's truck? So, how much driving have you done exactly?
Hot water, a couple cars. You know.
Okay, so it looks like what we're dealing with here is a basic 3 on the tree. Okay, so the principles of that is an H. First, what you want? What are you doing?
One for the road, man. Do you want some?
Come on.
You can have some if you want.
Give it to me. Give me that.
You're not my father.
What?
I said you're not my father.
I don't think he'd want you drinking and driving.
But he's dead. Doesn't really matter, does it, huh?
Hey, come on, Sean. Sean, oh, easy, rock star.
Thanks for the lesson.
What is RVX 674?
The autopsy found the chemical compound in his liver tissue.
Yeah, Peck? But what's it do?
Well, the report doesn't say, but it's very unusual.
Based on the way that his liver was scarred, they estimate that it's been there at least 10 years.
So this could be what caused Russ's cancer.
We need to find out what RVX 674 is used for so we can figure out how it got into his system.
Peggy, I want you to run a search of medical databases and see if you can find any connection between this and Strathern sarcoma.
I got some news about your daughter. That preschool in Pittsburgh sent me a photo of the student they thought might be Mia.
Yeah?
I ran a computer scan. Bone structures don't match.
Oh. Well, you said it was a long shot.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Oh, an autopsy on a client of ours. Well, it turned up something weird in his body.
RVX 674?
Yeah,
Any luck?
not exactly.
Step aside. Let the master of the universe take a look.
Wow.
Just gotta know where to look. Looks like some kind of defoliant. Oh, this stuff is nasty. Toxic, carcinogenic.
What's it used for?
Well, it's not used for killing crabgrass. Looks like they stopped making it about 20 years ago. I'm in some kind of restricted site. It's frozen.
Hey, my computer just crashed.
Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. And I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
I'm sorry, Sean.
Yeah, right. Barbara, I'm Frank Mitchell.
Oh, yes, from the Army. Hi.
You have my deepest sympathies. It's a terrible shame losing a great guy like Russ.
Russ and Frank were in the Army together. Alex Monaco, Patrick Heller, Mr. Whitney, they're our attorneys.
Nice to meet you.
Where were you stationed?
Here and there. Russ and I had an all-expense-paid tour of the Middle East, better known as Operation Desert Storm.
Seems like a lifetime ago.
Famous Lost Patrol.
Don't remind me, I'm still trying to live that down. One of my best memories was sitting with Russ, eating those great cookies that you send. Oatmeal chocolate chip. Did any of the other guys from the unit show up?
Oh, not that I know of.
If there's anything I could do, please don't hesitate to call. Russ was a good soldier and a good man.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
What's going on?
Oh, Mr. Whitney, they're taking my computer.
Who's in charge here?
Colonel Larch. And you are?
I'm Hamilton Whitney. What do you think you're doing here, Colonel?
Someone at this location attempted to break into a classified military data bank last night. That's a violation of national security.
My client is a woman whose husband died of a rare form of cancer, Strathern sarcoma. An autopsy revealed the presence of a chemical substance in his system, and I simply asked Mr. Monaco to research RVX674.
Which I was trying to do, but my computer went wacko.
You will cease your research immediately.
Colonel Larch, you're going to have to tell me more than that. My client has a right to investigate the cause of her husband's death.
Not when it leads to a violation of our security laws.
That's a pretty big statement.
We're not trying to bring down the government here. We're just trying to help a widow and her son.
The rights of one individual do not supersede matters of national security.
National security. Isn't that what you guys say when you're trying to hide something?
I'm a little rusty on my constitutional law, but I believe that the burden here is with the government to prove that this is detrimental to national security.
I understand the economics of your business, Mr. Whitney. You're always looking for deep pockets, and who could have deeper pockets than the U.S. Army?
We only want to find out what happened to this man. If you could share with us any information that would justify this claim.
It's out of the question.
Why?
Those are my orders. I don't ask why. Have you ever sued the Army before?
I think that's premature.
Because here's how it happens. If the court allows it, which is highly unlikely, we have unlimited time and endless resources. Your firm will get sucked into an endless abyss of costly litigation. You'd better hope your client has deep pockets.
Her client, now that you mention it, is losing her house and has a son to support. And as for Mr. Whitney's character, you're looking at the guy that paid for the funeral. So why don't you pretend to be a human being instead of a starched uniform and consider that someone is suffering here?
So the Army wants you to quit digging into this, but they won't tell you why?
Right. I was just trying to figure out what RVX674 was.
So what the heck is it?
It's a defoliant, apparently.
Man, this sounds like that Agent Orange stuff they sprayed on my cousin in Nam, man. The VA really messed him up bad.
What happened?
They gave him this medicine that made his skin go all yellow, and he blew up like a balloon. And he got blisters all over his body, and his halo, his hair fell out. Then he started smelling really bad. I mean bad. So Malo, his wife wouldn't let him into the house.
Did he die?
Nah, he got better. But the smell never went away. She still makes him sleep in the backyard.
Did Russ ever talk much about his time in the Army?
There wasn't much to tell, except that silly story about the Lost Patrol.
What was that?
Oh, I don't know. Russ and a few of his buddies, they were serving in Desert Storm. They were sent on a mission to pick up supplies, and they got lost. Russ always had a terrible sense of direction.
Now, isn't that the one that was at the funeral?
Frank Mitchell. He was Russ's lieutenant. He could probably tell you more about it.
Who were the other guys? Oh, that's Mitchell. He was at the funeral. I got his card. He's a plumbing supply salesman.
Funny job for a West Pointer. Graduated 8th in his class. There's your guy, Quinn Bolt. Honorably discharged. Looks like he's been living on disability for mental illness.
Does he have an address?
This is Thomas Cargill. He stayed in the Army. Shouldn't be hard to find.
Good. Where is he?
National Cemetery. He died 10 months ago.
For what?
Strathern sarcoma.
Mr. Balt? Is anyone home? Mr. Balt?
Cargill died of the same thing that killed Russ Martin, Strathern sarcoma.
Two men in the same squad dying of the same extremely rare disease. I'd call that a statistically significant cluster.
Maybe that's what got Colonel Arch's skivvies in an uproar. Did they find traces of RVX 674 in the autopsy?
Well, they didn't do an autopsy.
Sir, we might have enough to file suit against the Army for wrongful death.
I'm not so sure.
Oh, come on. You're not going to let the Iron Maiden bully you, are you?
We've managed to link Strathern sarcoma to RVX 674. I want to know if we can link that compound to the Army.
Well, Castlebaum is working on it, but he can't get through the firewall.
If we file a suit, we can go after the chemical under discovery motion.
We could also file a motion to exhume Cargill's body to see if the chemical was present.
If someone's been made ill by RVX 674, the people have a right to know. I think the Army seems to have forgotten that they're still accountable to a civilian authority.
So, we are suing?
You bet.
This is quite the laundry list of demands, Mr. Whitney. Rummaging through service records, viewing classified information, exhume a body.
I want to assure the court that we did not undertake this action lightly. But all of the evidence indicates that Russell Martin's death was a direct result of his service in the United States Army, specifically during his tour of duty in Desert Storm.
Colonel Arch, and what does the Army have to say to that?
It is our position, Your Honor, that there is no connection at all. Mr. Martin suffered a rare form of cancer, the cause of which is completely unknown.
And another member of Mr. Martin's unit died of the same extremely rare form of cancer. And this suggests to me that there is a link.
That would be this Mr. Thomas Cargill, the body you want me to exhume.
That's correct.
Just where did the plaintiffs get Mr. Cargill's medical records? This is an invasion of his privacy.
They can't challenge the facts, so they decide to try and challenge the source. We believe that an autopsy of Mr. Cargill's body will reveal traces of a chemical substance known as RVX674, which is a known carcinogen.
Even if Mr. Whitney is correct, which we do not stipulate, no action against the military can be taken by a soldier or his survivors who suffered injury in a theater of war. It is your responsibility to dismiss this lawsuit.
I am well aware of my responsibility, Miss Larch. It seems this court is being asked to deal with rights of great magnitude without adequate information.
I would caution the court that Mr. Whitney is asking for information that could jeopardize the national security of our country.
Are you telling me that you would defy an order of this court?
My duty before this court is to do what best serves the interests of this country.
Take this under consideration.
I implore the court to ignore these stonewall tactics and act as quickly as possible on our motion. In this case, prompt judicial action would not be the same thing as injudicial haste.
You ever have the feeling that no matter how much you wash, you just can't get clean?
When people feel safe, they complain about the military. When we're under attack, you're screaming for us to do something.
Well, in case you haven't noticed, we're not in a war. We're in a ladies' room.
I've seen people like you before. You have no respect for the military.
Listen, my uncle served 2 tours in Vietnam. You won a Bronze Star. I have nothing against the military. Just those in it who think that they're above the law.
I'll leave you to put on your lipstick.
Well, at least I've got lips.
Gotcha. I didn't want to talk about this over the phone.
Is it about Mia?
No, it's about that chemical you've had me chasing. I finally got into a very secure database. You don't want to know where. It's what's called a chemical precursor, used in nerve gas. It was manufactured in the U.S. Apparently this stuff is so nasty we didn't even let our allies have it.
But I thought the U.S. got rid of the chemical weapons years ago.
Yeah, well, that's just the point. The last stockpile of this stuff was supposedly destroyed in the early 80s.
And how did Russ Martin come in contact with it in 1991?
Yeah, well, maybe that's what's got the Army all freaked out.
Hey, thanks for doing this. You didn't have to.
Yeah. Well, considering I still haven't found your daughter for you, call it a down payment.
The cops tested for fingerprints, but I think he was wearing gloves. I'm not sure.
Was anything taken besides your computers?
All my discs, all my programs, my entire life.
Let me look. Oh, that's nasty. Poor thing.
Are you insured?
Well, I can't really insure the software I borrowed from a certain five-sided building, if you know what I mean.
I don't think we need to know this.
All that stuff on that chemical, it's all gone, too.
Well, if it was the Army, wouldn't they just march in and seize his computers like they did ours?
Not if it's a branch of the government that finds the courts too public.
CIA? I have a report here from the Army, the Freedom of Information Act. That's on chemical weapons.
It's all blacked out.
Classified. Everything except and the.
Like I said on the phone, I can't think of anything about our experience in Desert Storm that could help you. It was mostly just sand fleas, scorching heat, and a lot of hanging around.
What about this lost patrol?
Oh, man, that was just a major screw-up on my part.
What happened?
I was ordered to take some guys about 50 clicks into the desert to place a radio beacon. It's a navigational device to help guide our planes. Anyway, somehow we got all turned around and almost stumbled into enemy territory, surrounded by landmines. Wasn't exactly the highlight of my military career.
So it was you, Russ, Cargill, and Quinn Bolt?
Yeah, that's it. Not much of a war story, huh?
Patrick Keller. Barbara? Whoa, Barbara. Barbara, what's wrong? Sean didn't know what his buddies were doing. He wasn't even in the store when they boosted the beer. He's a good kid, solid student, never been in trouble. The only reason this happened was because his father died last week. So if you could just cut him a break.
What? Cut who a break?
Sean Martin. Who? Kid who got busted for stealing a six-pack.
You're talking to the district attorney for the city of San Francisco. A million people turn to this office for justice. You think I got nothing better to do than to sweat over some JD caught joyriding?
I talked to the arresting officer first. He said he'd be happy to drop it, but that Sean was already in the system. That puts this in your lap, sir.
Sir. Nice touch. I see Whitney's teaching you all the fine points. Well, write your client's name down and I'll make a call.
Thank you.
That's a sharp-looking briefcase. Is that Italian?
That is Chilean.
Really?
Buddy mine gets him a cost.
Do you think you can get one from me?
I'm sure he could, sir.
Thank you.
You just use your get-out-of-jail-free card, Sean. Next time I'll let you sit in that cell with your friends.
Big deal. I don't care.
It might not bother you, That would wreck your mother.
Here comes the lecture.
No, no lecture. Just a question.
Yeah.
Is it time you stop worrying only about yourself and start thinking about what she's going through?
Do I have to listen to this the whole way home?
No. Walk.
I'd rather drive.
Think that's ever gonna happen?
Come on, man. Just let me sit behind the wheel, see what it feels like. Not gonna hurt anything. What? Oh, baby.
Don't touch anything. I've got it all set up the way I want it.
Can I start her up?
No way.
Please? I just want to see how she sounds, that's it.
Okay, you can start it on one condition.
Yeah?
Go home, give your mother a hug, and apologize.
What for?
For thinking that you're the only one who's hurting. For not being there when she needed you.
What about my dad? He wasn't there.
Sean, he was sick. It's not his fault.
Whose fault is it? It's got to be somebody's fault. I mean, one day he's there, then he's not. My dad's always taking care of this stuff.
That's right. So now it's time for you to go take care of things. Other side. Put the clutch in.
Whatever you do, please don't leave.
Mr. Bolt?
Hey, down boy.
Mr. Bolt.
State your name.
Alex DeMonico.
ID? Looks fake.
I work for a law firm that represents Russell Martin's family.
He's dead.
Yes, he died of a very rare disease, and we're just trying to find out how he got it.
I know what you want. You want to find out what I know. I get it. You think I don't know who sent you?
We think it relates to the time that you served in Desert Storm. Frank Mitchell was telling me about
Mitchell.
that.
Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir, Mitchell. I know about Mitchell. What did he say? What did he say?
Just that you guys got lost and you wandered into a minefield.
Liar! It's all lies. Lies are killing us. Don't talk until we get inside. They're watching.
Who?
Surveillance satellites. The only safe place is 10,000 feet deep. I got a safe room in the basement.
I can't. I have to go.
You're helping them. They tricked you. I gotta stop the lies.
Whoa, whoa.
Don't help them. It's all lies. It's all lies. You gotta stop the lies.
I'm wondering if RVX 674 can also cause mental illness.
Well, I guess this professor will tell us.
Lloyd Kane was one of the first scientists to protest the use of biological and chemical weapons. I heard him speak at a sit-in at Princeton. What?
You were in a sit-in?
I was covering it for the campus paper. But if you play your cards right, I'll tell you what I once did at a Who concert.
RVX 674's only use is as a component of chemical weapons. It has no other application.
But those weapons were banned by treaty before Desert Storm.
Long before. The Biological and Toxic Weapons Convention, the United States ratified in 1975, prohibited their development, production, and stockpiling.
Then how did it get into Russ Martin's system?
Clearly, my dear, we violated the treaty.
Are you saying that the United States was still making chemical weapons in 1991?
Not just making them, deploying them in the theater of war.
Well, that explains why they came down so hard on us.
We've had other indications, but this is the first hard evidence taken in the field.
I suppose we were so worried Saddam Hussein was going to use his own chemical weapons that we decided to deploy ours as a deterrent, and then probably sent a message to him through diplomatic back channels that we were willing to fight fire with fire. Excuse me. I'm terribly sorry. Yes. I see. Yes. We'll be right there.
$3 million payable upon execution of this agreement. Your client forgoes all other claims against the United States and swears not to disclose any information pertaining to this matter.
I doubt you'll find that acceptable.
Those are our terms. Under the circumstances, I'd say they're very generous.
Why the sudden outpouring of generosity, Colonel? You actually doing what you think is right, or are you just following orders again?
You have until 5 p.m. tomorrow to accept.
I'll consult with my client.
Let's talk about what's really going on here, Colonel. This isn't a settlement. This is hush money. You guys are paying $3 million to cover up the fact that you had chemical weapons in Desert Storm.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The compound found in Russ Martin could have only come from a chemical weapon made by the United States. And that weapon wasn't supposed to exist in 1991. And it definitely wasn't supposed to be in Iraq.
That's beyond the scope of my authority.
Oh, right, because you're a good soldier.
Now, I am a lawyer representing the interests of the United States.
You call yourself a lawyer? I call you a bagman delivering hush money.
Thank you.
Sorry. I'm sorry, my big mouth.
Why? I couldn't have said it better myself.
Bolt?
Don't resist! Get in! Get in!
Help! Somebody help!
Go down, go down, go down, go down, go down. Sorry to be pointing this at you. I just had to get you to listen.
Of course I'm gonna listen. We can talk any place you like.
It's not me. Tim. He knows.
Who?
Open it. To your left. Go to your left. Him. He'll tell you what happened. I'll make him talk.
I've already spoken to Mr. Mitchell, and he was very cooperative.
No.
No, he lied. All lies.
You have to hear the truth.
I don't know what he's raving about.
No, don't.
Tell him about the bunker.
Tell him about the bunker!
Mr. Bolt!
Quinn, I told you I don't know. All right. Calm down. Just relax.
The bunker.
Everything I say is under duress. It'll never hold up in court.
You're stalling.
All right. When I say we were lost, we weren't lost.
Lost patrol. All lies.
I had orders to inspect an Iraqi ammo bunker in the area, but my men were to know.
Why?
Tell him who you work for, Frank.
The CIA.
What was in the bunker?
Like I said, this is all under duress.
U.S. military chemical weapons.
Well, someone's been doing their homework.
What did the Iraqis get them?
The enemy of my enemy is my friend. We sent some of our stockpiles to Saddam Hussein when he was fighting Iran.
The bunker was booby-trapped. It blew up when we tried to get inside.
The explosion must have ruptured a canister of RVX 674.
Secrets. I'm so tired of the secrets.
Wait, Cole. This is the San Francisco Police Department. Release your hostage and come out with your hands up. No one has to get hurt, Cole.
They're gonna kill me.
They won't, I promise.
I knew they'd come. I knew they would.
Trust me. Okay, they won't hurt you. We have to tell everybody the truth. Okay? You have to help me convince them.
Cole. Release your hostage and come out with your hands up. Now.
Mr. Bolt is coming out. He's unarmed.
Move away from the building, miss.
$3 million is a lot of money.
You bet it is.
The Army is insisting that any agreement you sign must contain a non-disclosure clause.
Alex, I don't know what to do.
I can't tell you. I don't have a teenage son to support.
What do you think, Sean?
Well, I really hate moving, but I think that Dad would want people to know what happened.
So do I. Tell the Army they have to do better.
They weren't there when he needed them. Tell them they have to apologize.
Surprised?
Pleasantly.
Allow me.
What's this?
I've made it very clear our terms are non-negotiable.
Tell me that after you look at this.
That's proof from the Pentagon itself that the U.S. supplied Iraq with chemical weapons it was supposed to have destroyed.
You people are in violation of a federal law for just being in the same room with this.
You want to make threats? What about the fallout that's going to hit the military when the public find out that you guys violated an international treaty? We gave some of the worst weapons in the world to the worst regime in the world.
You would do that to your country.
Excuse me. We're not doing anything to our country. We're after a handful of officers and bureaucrats who place their own goals above those of the government they serve. People who believe that the rules of law and basic morality apply to everyone except them.
What do you propose?
1, a written assurance from the Attorney General that a thorough investigation will be undertaken. 2, $5 million to the families of the victims.
Victims?
Thomas Cargill died of the same disease as Russ Martin.
And don't forget Quinn Bolt. He needs full-time medical care.
That it?
Not quite. A letter of apology from the Secretary of the Army to Barbara and Sean Martin.
I'll see what I can do.
You have until 5 p.m. tomorrow.
Why'd you do it?
Excuse me?
That file came from you.
Disclosing classified information to unauthorized individuals is a serious violation of the law.
I notice you haven't denied it, Counselor. Well, I would fight in your foxhole any day, Colonel.
Well, in case you hadn't noticed, we're not at war. We're in a ladies' room.
Man.
Hey.
Hey.
What are you doing?
Making lemonade? You know when life hands you lemons?
Ah.
Yeah. I figured getting ripped off isn't all bad. Gives me a chance to junk some of this outdated equipment. Redesign my system.
Well, I got something better than lemonade.
Hey. Oh, nice. Got the cork and everything. Must be good. Does this mean you won that big army case?
Well, if I told you that, I'd have to kill you.
Okay, signal. Driver in training, advise caution. Oh, boy, I should ask for hazard pay.
You sound like my dad.
Just over here. Okay, it. Yep. Very smooth.
Check this out.
Sincere apologies on behalf of the United States Army. We truly value the service and dedication of Russell Martin. You did it, man.
I know. You'll be fine, buddy.
All right, now just ease out. Oh, go easy on the clutch.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, both hands on the wheel.
Yeah, I got a shift.
You forgot your turn signal.
Okay, I only have 2 hands.
Okay, easy on the throttle there, Schumacher. Nice.
You're stressing me.
No, you're stressing me out.
Dude, can we just drive?
Friday on PAX TV.
You are not old.
Millions of women do it.
You're doing this for the best possible reasons. Could add a decade or 2 onto your career.
But what is the real cost?
Why are you acting as though this is a surprise? I just want my mom back.
Another Pretty Face. Friday at 8, 7 Central on PAX TV.